welcome to this week's episode of Cooking with Connie. This week is another Shake Approved, and we are doing a shape and bake crispy herb chicken. So this is one you definitely won't want to miss. So we're going to start off with using some of the same ingredients we did in our chicken nuggets. So we're going to do a coating here. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons of our Greek yogurt. And we're going to do 2 tablespoons of our tahini. I like to use the tahini because it has a little bit more oils in it. So it's going to help us with kind of that crispy part that we want to do with the chicken. And I've already crunched up my nut thins in here. So those are ready to roll. We're going to use 6 tablespoons of our arrowroot. And just know, today we're going to do chicken legs, but you could do, you could just do chicken breasts. You could cut it into strips and do chicken tenders. So you would just want to use the coating. Boy, that was a really thin egg there. It's a farm fresh egg, so sometimes it's got thin shells. Must be some young chickens here. All right. So we're going to start stirring that up in here. So this will be our coating, that what we're going to do is put our chicken legs in there, and then we'll put the seasonings into our nut thins over there and coat it with that. Now just remember that when you are working with chicken, because chicken is very germy, to make sure that you are cleaning and sanitizing your kitchen so that you keep everything from not spreading around your E. coli all over your kitchen. So you want to wash it down, and then you want to make sure that you're using some kind of a germicidal thing to kill all the germs on the surface areas. All right, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and throw my chicken legs in here, and then we'll get them all coated while I mix up my chicken legs here. Barbara and I are going to have some really good lunch today. All right, I'll quickly wash my hands before I start messing with the coating. All right, so we got our crumbs here. And then we are going to put in our seasoning. So we're going to use some paprika. So we got a teaspoon of paprika, if I can say that. We're going to use a teaspoon of garlic powder. Use a teaspoon of onion powder. And then a half a teaspoon of our basil. And I think this is the key, is to get you a good seasoning plan here. And half a teaspoon of black pepper. And some thyme leaves. I haven't opened this jar yet, so we'll get the thyme in there. So we will be back in just a little bit, and we will show you how to coat all this stuff, and then we'll be putting it on the tray and throwing it in the oven. So be back shortly. Okay guys, we're back, and what I'm doing is I've got this all mixed up in here. So I just threw the chicken legs in there and coated it with that yogurt and tahini and eggs. And then what I'm doing is just throwing that in my bag that has my nut thins and my seasonings. And it's just like the shake and bake. Just shake it. As you can see, these are going to be beautiful chicken legs here. Nice and coated. And then what we're going to do before we put them in the oven, we'll just spritz them with just a little bit of olive oil, which will help kind of golden them up just a little bit. So we'll bake them at 350 degrees. It'll probably be 30, 45 minutes. We'll make sure chicken is all the way cooked through. So we'll let you know how long it takes. So depending on if you're doing it with the bone or you're just doing a chicken breast, but remember you want your internal temperature to come to 165, and that way you're killing all those germs. So we'll be back when we get the chicken finished, and we'll show you how lovely this stuff's gonna look. Hey guys, we're back, and this is our finished product. So this is our Shape and Bake crispy herb chicken. It smells wonderful. I'm sure it's going to taste even better. So I wanted to show you, we ended up cooking it for about 45 minutes because these thighs are pretty big. So we have our thermometer here, and I was telling you we want to get that to at least 165. So to measure it, you always want to stick it in the biggest part of the meat, and we're at 174 with the internal temperature, so that should be good for chicken. So when you're cooking chicken, just make sure you're cooking it to the right temperature so you don't end up getting food poisoning, because that won't be any fun. So that's this week's Cooking with Connie. Remember, we do gluten-free, we do sugar-free. We're creating a lot of recipes for our Shape Reclaim people, so keep checking us out. And before too long, we're going to have that first cookbook out there, so be watching, and we'll let you know about that. Remember, this week, make good choices, and we'll see you soon.